everyone, I'm Ariel Bradbury, the author of Picking Up the Broken Pieces. Picking Up the Broken Pieces is a memoir on my experiences of mental health. I'm first going to talk to you what inspired me to write my book, why I wrote my book, and a little bit about my book. So, what inspired me to write my book? I read the book Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, and she talks about going out and doing your dreams. She has many inspirational quotes throughout her book that I read and thought, you know what, I need to write my story. I'd always wanted to write my story from 2015, but I never actually sat down and did it. So the reason why I wrote my story is because I want the world to know that they are not alone. This is a face of someone who's been through mental health, and throughout my whole time that I was in the hospital, everyone kept saying, you don't look depressed, or you don't look like there's anything wrong with you. Well, yes, look at me. I'm a well put together person. I don't normally wear makeup, but I thought for this YouTube video I would. But for the most part, I am a put together person. I shower every day, no matter how I feel, and I look the part. I don't look like I'm someone who struggles from mental health, but I am. So we need to stop this stigma. We need to have everyone realize that it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what your background is, mental health is out there. It doesn't matter. So I also really would like to use some of my book proceeds to go towards mental health initiatives. Some of these mental health initiatives would include donating toiletries to mental health institutions. When I was there, I required a toothbrush. And when I went to use my toothbrush, it literally made every single part of my mouth bleed. So people need better products there. I would also like to help out with their games nights and provide prizes like journals, adult coloring books, fuzzy blankets. Another thing that I'd like to do is donate some money towards psychotherapists so that people who cannot afford therapy will have some donation or money towards uh, getting the help that they need. So, a little bit about my book. In 2015, I went through a very stressful year. Both my grandparents passed away. I was working a dual job, so I was working as a human resource coordinator and a front desk receptionist. I was a superintendent of my building, and I was planning my wedding. I had so much going on. At nighttime, I stopped sleeping. All these things kept going through my head. I became a dreamer. I thought, oh, there's so much I can do with my life. I started buying lottery tickets. I thought that I would become a millionaire. And then eventually, it all told on me. I ended up going into the shower, and all of a sudden I just started swearing and everything just kept going through my mind. I thought my life was racing in front of me. So I called 911. I went to the hospital. Many things happened while I was there, but the very first night I ended up sleeping in a room that was a mattress on the floor with a metal toilet. Needless to say, when I woke up, I thought I was in prison. I thought I had killed someone by drinking and driving or something horrible. I ended up going to a better unit that wasn't just a mattress on the floor with a metal toilet after I recovered a bit. And I spent almost 2 months in the hospital. I was in and out twice because the first time they sent me home way too soon. So I ended up back in the hospital. Um, After the psychosis, I went through severe depression, the type of depression where it takes all your emotions away. You don't want to live. You can't feel any sort of happiness. You feel absolutely worthless, lifeless. You can't go on. So I got treatment for this. I took antidepressants. It took about 7 weeks, and I was finally starting to feel better. It was a long recovery. Um, After it was about 5 years, I never went through anything like this again. I stopped even thinking about it. Um, and then I got pregnant with my second son. And when I was about 8 months pregnant, I went through psychosis again. This time it was even more horrific because I was in the same room with the metal toilet and the mattress on the floor. I was pregnant, so getting down on the floor was hard, and sitting on a metal toilet was even harder. I felt like I was in prison. It was an awful experience. Um, After that, I went through severe depression again after my son was born. I have been through a lot of trauma. I have had such a hard time, and I finally have been diagnosed with bipolar. I had no idea because it was 5 years that I hadn't had anything happen to me in my life. Um, So I have written this book, Picking Up the Broken Pieces, and it's all about my experience. I go into great detail. It's very raw, it's very real, and there's many stories that are extremely embarrassing and personal, but I feel like the world needs to know. Psychosis is not pretty. Depression is not nice. There is so much that the world needs to know and understand about mental health. Thank you so much. I hope that you will pass my video on and that you will look at reading my book, Picking Up the Broken Pieces. Thank you so much, everyone.